We're coming on. Hold tight. I'm going to have to make a little adjustment here. Okay. Now, if everyone can see me okay, hello there. Thank you for watching, Zola and Alonzo Fuller. Thank you for watching. I hope you can see me okay here. All right, I think we are okay now. Now, I'm Omiyinka7, and the billboard says joining Omiyinka7 Zannu Circle. This is an all brand new circle where I am sending out the clarion call for those of you who would like to join this circle. We have been building momentum. We have our website up now, and we are trying to appeal to those people who would like to be a part of our circle. Now, initially, we were calling on Iyanafis, priestess, babalaws, and looking for practitioners that were priestesses to come and join our network. And our network has to start off with the circle first. So we're going to accumulate our circle first for those people who would like to be a part of the circle. There's a lot of fantastic things that I want to talk to you about today. So this is a great day to be involved with your OMI and be a part of this particular segment. And this will allow you to break off into some of the things that I'm involved in. And I want to say I haven't been on Facebook for a while and sort of been AOL, so to speak. I've had a little problem with Facebook coming on and being recognized, but nevertheless, I'm here today. And I want to say to you that this particular circle is going to stem into you having access to our VIP store and having access to our website with a number of things. And we are looking at multi-level marketing as being one of those 5 streams of income that we're going to be adding into our circle. Now, most of you who voluntarily want to be a part of this circle, that means that you're going to have to do some things. You're going to have to show up, and you're going to have to be actively, and you're not going to just be sitting out there like a lump on the log. You're going to have to be able to be in participating. Now, I want to talk to you first about your visions and about people putting up roadblocks to inhibit your dreams from coming to pass. I know a lot of you have lots of stories to tell about how this one did that to you and that one did this to you, and you are crying the blues of a victim. I don't want you to continue to be a victim. You might be victimized, but you don't have to be a victim. And there are a number of people who actually monitor you, monitor me, and during the course of the day will inject so many phone calls to your phone to tap into where you are. Are you making money? Are you advancing yourself? What are you doing? And how are you able to have this and that? And where is your income source coming from? These are vipers, and they are put in this position to come and steal your anointing and steal all of your gifts away, because they do not want African Americans to gain resources to become well-to-do or financially able. I know this because some of us get to the point where we financially finally can call ourselves middle class through the incomes that we bring in. And over the years in my life, as I look back over my husband and I and our income and what we were able to bring in, people were monitoring us. They were afraid that we were going to get ahead, and then we could influence those people that were following us, indicating that if we had finances, we could make changes in their lives and we could do things for our community. So they wanted to put a halt to that. And they want to put a halt to your lifestyle as well. If you're making over $50,000 a year and your spouse is making $50,000 a year, that's $100,000 coming into some Black community that you can make a difference in. Now, I am not at the point where I wouldn't even believe that they would try to alter your taxes from the communities that you live in to make sure that you can feel intimidated by taxes going up, thinking that, oh, I got to sell my property because the taxes are going up. I got to do something. I got to find a way to get out, because I don't want my house repossessed because of taxes. I believe that they have that ability, that they can put their finger on that particular item in your life to cause you to panic and to hit the panic button. But I don't want you to do that, as some of us have already done. And I believe that they're monitoring your promotions on your job. If you are one of those that have been singled out that are potentially making too much money for the households, the average African-American households don't make $100,000. And they are going to see to it that you don't make $100,000, because they will go in and prevent promotions, advancement, and even in some towns you go to with your license and you put your license and register your license and apply for a job, they make sure that you're not a candidate for any of those jobs that are licensed, because they know that you have a potential of earning a certain amount of money, somewhere to the tune of $56,000 to $60,000 if your master's degree. So they can calculate this. So why am I starting this circle? I'm starting this circle so that people can get financial wealth and they can aspire to the level of excellence where they can be well-to-do and they can function in communities without worrying about someone pushing them out. How many of you have lived in neighborhoods where you have been the only Black family for years and years? And you know that something is happening. You know that they're brewing up something, but you just can't put your finger on it. A number of us go out to the suburbs because we think that our property value will hold its own or will escalate, and you won't have a depreciation in your property and you won't lose the value. There are a number of us that believe that. So we rush to the suburb to only find that we're rejected and we're ostracized, and we're usually singled out as the only Black speck in the community that they want to show off when they have the gatherings and the community affairs. Well, I want to say that we've got to maintain one thing, that we can work for ourselves and establish streams of income, whether it be in working for multi-level marketing or going out and being a contractor, receiving a 1099. But a number of us have worked in jobs where we don't appear to be moving up the ladder, and our incomes are stagnant and they're not moving up as the cost of living rises. So we find ourselves in a stupor. We find ourselves not able to travel and do the extra conventional things, such as go on vacation and have the pleasures of being able to take sabbatical and be able to every year look forward to traveling. A number of us work from sun up to sundown just to make ends meet, just so that we can have meat in our house and be able to feed ourselves. Well, you want to go beyond just feeding yourself. You want to be able to have a lifestyle, a quality of life. Who wants to just work, just to get a paycheck to pay their bills, and there's never anything left like excess to go to a movie, or maybe even go downtown to even be a part of one of the extracurricular activities? Well, in this circle, we're going to strive for a lifestyle And that lifestyle means that you will be looking into multi-level marketing, whichever one you choose. But I'm going to introduce you to one that you don't have to put up any money for, and you can immediately earn a back office and a web page where you can actually function and work from this web page without paying a premium or monthly fee. And actually, you don't have to put out any money. The website is yours free, and you can begin to sell a product or tell a person about a product that might purchase the product, and that will accumulate money for you. And the product people are getting rich off of, except for black people. We are afraid. We're talking about, hemp oil is a part of marijuana. I want to stay away from that. While others are getting rich off of hemp oil, CDB. They're getting rich off of it. And then they're claiming that it has the substance of marijuana, and it doesn't. There are plenty of products that are out there that have isolated that particular chemical that can cause a person to get high. With this actual CBC, it is set up where it has been able to address the issues of children that have minimal brain disorder, anyone that has depression. It has also been designed to take away high blood pressure, diabetes, and I fell into it because I didn't want to become a victim of diabetic medicine. And I took it as an alternative to alleviate the high blood sugars. And it did just that for me. Now, I don't know what it did for anyone else. So I'm sold on the product because of the fact it is actually giving me the freedom of not have to be a victim of diabetes and having to have injections or the medicine. Because eventually your kidneys will wear down and you have to be on renal dialysis, and eventually you'll be looking for a donor. So there is no method to that madness of the treatment that they propose in taking insulin shots that will only weaken the pancreas and the kidneys. So ultimately the whole mechanism will shut down. So why would you want to cure something? Why would you want to mask a symptom rather than curing something? With the CBD, with the CDB, you can be reassured that your cells are getting healthier and stronger. I am 66 years younger, and I possess that I have the diabetes under control. It doesn't control me. When you find a multi-level marketing product like that, it's easy to market. Now, I did send some of you out information about this particular company. And I don't know how many of you got it in your messenger, but please open it up and look at it. I only come on periodically to inform you of things. That is a great way of starting off your business without having to have a great overhead and putting money up. You have 2 back offices. You have access to messaging and sending out messages. You also have access to your client responding to you. It is a business office for free. Okay? And if you will go back and look in your messengers, you will see that I have sent you a message. Some of you that were on the bottom end, that you may have not gotten your advertisement. But I want you to understand, this is a circle of people that are going to be doing better financially. Because if I sit here and tell you there's a way of escape and I don't show you or introduce you to it, then I'm in error. So I want you to understand that we are going to do things, and we can meet up and connect with this multi-level marketing. They're getting ready to have one of their conferences in Connecticut during the month of July. And that is where they introduce all the new products. This product is the leading product, which is working for depression, minimal brain disorder, foggy thinking. It's also a cure for balding. It's a number of issues that this medicine, well, I won't say medicine, that this herb can heal. So why not get on the bandwagon and be able to use it with your own family and connect your own family members outside of your nuclear family to the product. And while you're taking it, and you're actually making money by making referrals. I want you to understand you cannot get rich off an 8 to 5 job. I worked for 36 long years, not only here in the United States, but I went abroad to work, to take a job that was going to yield quite a bit of money and another job for my husband. But they don't want to see blacks get ahead. When blacks get that opportunity and they're able to pull themselves up by the bootstrap, they do everything they can to send someone to take your job. And that's exactly what they did. They sent a group of white women to take our jobs after we were up for promotion. It made national history. We did take them to court, and we did go to EEOC, and we did claim a class action case, which they denied and said that we could not prove a class action. But nevertheless, I was on my way up to being able to hire people to have access to help them. But because they wanted to stop this, 8 black women were dismissed from their jobs for no reason. They falsified information, and every one of the allegations were proven wrong. So they had to go to the table to make an offering to me for settlement. And when they placed it on the table, they snatched it back. And it has never been brought back again, but yet it was offered to my attorney. So, in putting all this time in, getting a master's degree, getting at the height of my career, it doesn't matter. Your jobs can be taken at any time. I don't care how secure you think you are. That was devastating. That was during 9/11. Not only did it affect my household, because of 9/11, I had to leave everything I had and come back to the States without an ounce of my furniture or my household goods, meaning I had to start all over again. How many of you have had the pleasure of starting all over again? How many of you were on your way to middle class and you were living in a gated community and you had bought that particular luxury car, but you only found yourself to start all over again? Well, that's what they're doing to African Americans who have potential. They know who they are, and they're watching them, and they've actually put a tail on you, and they do everything they can to pull you down, but you don't have to let them. They think they may have gotten over to pull me back, to slow me down from growth and development, but I only prevail to go forward. And in going forward, I'm on my way up again. And I know you are too, but you've got to make a commitment to have more than one stream of income. Your 8 to 5 just can't do it. You've got to have more than one stream of income. And you've got to be able to move where you want to move, where your house can gain the most appreciation. And don't be afraid to move to these gated communities, because when you've got the income that's coming in and your money is green, green will spend anywhere. But so many Black African Americans are locked out of communities, and they are pushed out of community, and they buy in the neighborhoods where their homes are slowly depreciating, so they cannot go in and use their house like a bank by pulling out the equity to make investments in property and land so that you can have streams of income coming in. Now that is what this is all about. Are you perturbed because someone stole your dream? And maybe they went in on your pension. Maybe they told you one thing about your pension and you met all the criteria. Then you went to go and collect for your pension and they said, oh no, that one little I wasn't dotted or that T wasn't crossed, so we can't give you your full pension. They'll rob you of that. I can vouch to that. They'll rob you of that. So some of you have to find out how to roll over your pensions or how to roll over your 401k without getting penalized with the 20% and the 10%. Well, some of you might not know about the IRA, that you have to roll that 401k over into an IRA and then borrow from yourself so you don't take your life earnings and lose them through the penalties of the 10%. So I'm saying to a number of you that in order to follow Omiyinka7 Zannu circle, you have to be in the know. And you're not only just following my circles, you're going to have access to go to my websites because this information will be on the website. And only those that are VIP members will have access to it. Now, of course, to join the actual website is free, but you only have access to a minimum information. Those of you who join the VIP will be paying $2 a month to have that access. And nothing is over $8 a month for the website. So you can have access to all this material, but you have to become a member. And this is for the administrative fees to keep the website going. There's a fee for that website. I don't get that website free. So I would actually pass that particular amount down to my members, which is a minimum $8 for the maximum VIP plus. And that means you will get free things. You will also have access to our store. We have discounted things in our store. We even have our own name-bearing gear. Our name-bearing gear, the Gods wear. And this particular t-shirt, hoodie, or our various different clothing have been designed specifically for God's wear. This is a spiritual site. We're connected, as you know, to Oracle Divination Network. We are a group of practitioners that practice in the paranormal area of priesthood and priestesshood in the Voodoo as well as in the Ifa. So you know we're going to mix a little spiritualism in there. Whether you're a spiritualist or not, you can benefit financially from being a member. Now, this circle that I'm proposing to you is the beginning. We actually have a network for those who are actual priests and priestesses practitioner. They actually get their profiles put on our directory. So when they are looking for clients, the clients can come to us and we will allow them to use the directory to select those priests and priestesses that they would like to have to give them services. So we're trying to put priests and priestesses to work so they have legitimate jobs and they literally can practice their trade without going into hiding. A lot of you never hear about these priests and priestesses in Petibee, in Yanafai, because they're underground. And when you get sick and you get cancer, you run through a traditional doctor or a traditional hospital. You don't know about the other alternative practitioner who can treat you naturally and keep you from getting burned up by the actual radiation and give you an opportunity to pull out of that cancer. Most people think that once we get cancer, that's the end. And if you're taking the allopathic treatment, it normally is the end because that x-ray or that or chemotherapy is burning up cells, whereas the practitioners who are priestess, they are using a different practice for healing. And our CBC is one of those particular mechanisms that we are also offering for healing. So we're offering you a healing bomb as well, as a way to build your own empire so that you can work for yourself and actually become incorporated under this business and have your own incorporated business. I'm saying all that to say today somebody wanted to walk off the job. Today somebody wanted to turn in their notice, their pink slip. Today, somebody wanted to just go to the boss and drop it all on the table and say, here, you can have it all back. I'd rather go out and look for me a job to the sweat of my brows but I'm not going to lower my integrity to this anymore. There's some people working 2 and 3 jobs just to make an income. I know. And there's some people struggling. Well, I want to say this to you. You're looking at a rightly guided woman. And out of all the fights that I have been in the courtroom, even in the retirement center, all the fights that I've been in, and they thought they won, I prevailed. They still don't know how I'm existing with the fact that they tried to steal money from me. They still don't know how I'm making it. But at the same time, God will do a special thing for you. Some of you have student loans, and you're working and working, trying to pay those student loans down. Some of you are disabled, and you're still working on paying loans off. Nobody has told you that a disabled person can go in and file certain papers. Nobody has told you that they owe you if you are sick and cannot continue to work. Nobody has told you that. Nobody has told you how important it is to get a long-term disability claim or a long-term disability insurance policy and a short-term disability insurance policy. I'm telling you this because in those times when you cannot work and they tell you that your insurance has expired, you have no more insurance money coming in from your leave, then now you're stuck. You have no income coming in and you can't work. Mentally and physically, you're disabled. So that is a time when your short-term disability would kick in for 6 months. And if you bought into the long-term disability, that will kick in for the next 5 years. And if you stay off 5 years, then you become permanently disabled. Then that's when you automatically can receive that you went in short-term and long-term disability insurance on the table. Take it out. I don't care if you have to give up some of your other things. Pay the $80 a month. Pay the $70 a month. It'll be well worth it. You never know when you're going to trip over that water on the floor in your building. You never know. They're going to fight the hell out of you to prevent from giving it to you. But you nevertheless keep appealing and get a lawyer if you have to. Because that is your money that you paid into in the event that you become incompetent and not able to work. We have to stop letting them pull money out of our household and making us poor. There was a time when I was brought in to give speeches on how to get finances and how to get advancements and how to move up the ladder. And when I went to the speech, they thought I was going to give some kind of formula about you do this and then you do that and then you cheat this person and then you cheat that person. And when I went in there and told them I was just a steward, we're nothing but stewards over this money we receive. And as long as I continue to be a good steward and have good stewardship, I would be blessed to manage God's money, because that's all you're doing anyway, is managing God's money. That he is the only one that has the ability to let man get riches, not man. God gives you the ability. So when they think they're taking something away from you, you tell them, this is not yours to give or take. If I am going to get rich or get promoted, God is the only one that can give promotion. And when he gives promotion, he added no sorrow to it. So you won't be running around here with an afterthought, having sorrow about getting riches. And don't let people put you into these schemes where you're making all these investments and now you can't fulfill it. So now you owe all these people extra interest. And that's what we're doing. We're getting these credit cards and we're giving them 25. Now they got 30-some% in interest. That is like you're not paying on any of the principal. All of it's going to interest. So take your credit cards that you have with the low interest rate, and if you can transfer over the balance, transfer over the balance. Now is the time to get them out of your pocketbook, because you're giving them way too much money for these high interest credit cards. But we got to find a way to get over the grain house. And the only way we can do that is that we must come into compliance and realize we must have streams of income. How many of you have dreams? How many of you have dreams that you can work for yourself and you can set the alarm clock when you want to get up? How many of you know that you can plan for your vacation and plan a year in advance and put the money aside and start taking your money and investing it in your own bank, where that money goes into your own bank? So if you want a new car, you don't go and get a loan from the banker. You don't go and get a loan from the car dealer. You put that money in the bank and you plan for it, and you borrow the money from yourself at a lower interest rate. Why do you have to give them 36% interest rate when you could take that extra 36% interest rate and build it in an annuity, so that that money that you invested in your own bank, at the end of the year, you share in the dividends, because you are actually vested into that bank or to that agency that you're putting your money in. Now you have dividends, and you not only have the money you save, but you have the dividends that you are going to collect at the end of the year. They have been teaching us all wrong. The rich are getting richer because they're told something different. And the poor are just over broke, and you cannot take a bank account and make any money because you're getting less than 2% interest, and you'll never get rich that way. But you can get rich off of having your own bank accounts. Every family should have their own bank account. The infinity plan, where you set it up, however much you can put in there for your policy. You're buying a whole life insurance policy. And that whole life insurance policy can act as a savings. You take off the amount that you want for the death burial, and then the other portion will go towards your saving. And you put money in that savings every month religiously. And when you need to go and borrow something, you can borrow it, but you must pay it back at a lower interest. You cannot keep taking money out without paying it back. You must pay it back at a lower interest rate. That way the money never dissolves. It stays there. Now you need to go online and look up infinity banking for your own personal banking. No one should be going to the bank. We should be developing our own personal bank account. Get online and look up. There is a gentleman that's online that I'm going to refer you to. And if you really are interested in some of the best that are out there, you can get a consultation with some of the best. And one of the best that's out there is MJ Harris. He's an African-American young man that does he's a black insurance owner, and he does, I guess, for anybody, but he is one of the best consultants that's out there. And go to him with your money. Ask him how to plan for your long-term retirement. Ask him to show you how to put your money away so that you can retrieve it and you can grow your money. Because a lot of us are making a lot of money, but we're throwing it and casting it to the swine. But we got to get in these circles where we talk about these things and we get a chance to see what we could do to help one another. But we cannot help one another when we are keeping everything to ourselves and we're not allowing each other to grow. So I want you all to understand that I've been on this line now for 10 years on Blog Talk. Our Oracle Divination Network has grown. It has grown into the possibility where we can have our own radio show. I've been on there for 10 years. And believe you me, somebody's hiding the money because I'm monetized. And that means being monetized, when people click on my show, they're supposed to give me a bit of the earnings. And when I look at my earnings and see that they're not going to PayPal and they're not going to me, so where are my earnings? Who's robbing me? So everyone wants to rob the African American. Any way they see fit. If what you don't know will hurt you, they will take that and use it against you. So if you don't know you got monetization coming, guess what? It's going to get redistributed to somebody else. But I want us to do better than that. I want to take another look at my radio station and see how I can gather onto my own station. So all the monetization goes to me. After 10 years of working hard, after retiring, I put 10 years in to Blog Talk radio station so that I could be able to draw the people. And then to see that they won't let it go over 110 people. Something's wrong with that. I know I've had over 3,000 people to come through the radio station. So why do I only have 110 followers? Something is wrong with that. People are afraid of African Americans getting riches and royalties. They're afraid that if we blow up and we're a nationalistic party, that we may have the authority to go in and lift up our brothers and sisters. They don't want that to happen. And we've got to get to the point where we are going to look at our income differently. And we've got to understand that there are vipers out there that want to destroy us. There are vipers that are out there that want to take from us. That want to take from us. And we cannot let that happen. There are vipers that want to take from the African American. We are one of the 7 wonders of the world. And wherever we are cow cash. And they know it. And you better know it. Because they can make money off of you and I. And they will do it. But when we join together and set up our own circles, we must learn to make money off ourselves so we can leave a legacy for our children. Our children want things, and we're going to have to leave them set with something. And we cannot do this if we're swindling our money and wasting it away on the no-nonsense things like brand new cars, going to the bank, getting a loan, giving them between 25 and 29% for that car. You pay for that car twice already. Why? Every one of you, don't ever buy another brand new car where you got to go to the bank or to the car dealer to get the loan. Use your own savings to borrow from yourself. And when you borrow from yourself, you can borrow at a low interest rate and plan and project when you're going to buy that new car. When you want to buy that new car, plan for 4 years that you're putting money away. And you're going to be able to save up enough. You can walk in there and pay cash for it. And now when you pay that car note back, you're paying it back at a lower interest rate, not at 18%, not at 17%, but whatever rate you set it up as. But it's very vital that we've got to get out of this understanding that we're poor, we're going to remain poor, and we're going to stay in the hood. You don't have to stay in the hood. You can advance yourself, and you can go into those neighborhoods that's been redlined and neighborhoods that have kept you out. And you can look at the quality of life. Always go and look at those new subdivisions and see what kind of deal you can bargain for in the new subdivision. You got 5 years to live in that house before those nail pops start popping in. 5 years that you have a warranty on everything that's going to hold up. Why move into a decrepit house that everything is falling apart? Now you got to do all the upkeeps and spend all the money, and then it's not worth it. Some people would say, well, why do you want to go move into that new neighborhood? Because it's brand new, and I believe I have a right to. And some people want you to go live in a neighborhood where there's crime infested and things are going on, and they don't want to be there. So you have to understand, white doesn't make it better, and white doesn't make it right. But you can go there and make a difference in that neighborhood and have your black presence known. And you will become the commodity in the community. I can't begin to tell you how many neighborhoods that I can drive through. At a time at my zenith when I was younger, I can drive through now, and I can't even afford the house anymore. I can't touch it because it's overpriced now. They have changed the community around, and they have upgraded it, and now they're making money hand over feet the interest on that house that is appreciating, they can go and use that house like a bank. And if you got houses now, go and get the equity out of it and use it to place into your bank and start your own bank. I decree that you will have enough money to be able to do what you want to do if you take that equity out of that house and put it in your own bank. And then everything you pay for or buy, you take it out of your own bank. Your payments, you pay off your credit cards and you pay off everything you can. And then let that money accumulate. So at the end of the year, you've invested in that insurance agency. Now you have an annuity. If you're putting $500 in a month, at the end of the year, you got $3,000 that you have made in annuities. That money now is excess money that you can go on a trip with. We got to stop talking about we're going to buy our jewelry and buy our grills, all these shiny things that has no value. And when you drive off the lot with your brand new car that you have financed, you are losing interest in that car. That car's not worth the same amount tomorrow. If you took it back, they'll say, I'm sorry. You paid $10,000 for this car. It's only worth $7,000. You've lost money as just driving off the lot. So if you're not going to pay for the cash with your own money, then buy a used car and get you an extended warranty. But you must get wealth. They're banking on us being permanent underclasses where we won't have any income coming in. They're banking on the fact that we are going to be the desolate ones. But because their population numbers are diminishing and they're dying off through suicide, the women are not producing children. And women, those of you who still have your wombs, I want to talk to you. Every one of you do not have decrepit wombs. God didn't give you a womb that was worthless. Your womb is worth something. And don't let any doctor convince you that you must have a complete hysterectomy by giving up your full womb. Do you know that they are rebuilding wombs in white women and reconstructing wombs, and they're using your wombs to do so? But nevertheless, time you go into a doctor's office and you got a little bleeding, you can't stop bleeding, and you say, oh, what can you do to stop that, doctor? I don't want to have a menstrual period. Oh, I have cramps. What can you do to stop that? Oh, let's take out the whole uterus. Go and get a second opinion because it's not always necessary. And sometimes you can keep your uterus because now you are going to lose all of your hormones, and you having a disbalance of harmony, and now you're going to be spastic all over the place because your hormones are off balance, and now you got to deal with all this medicine and taking synthetic hormones, which can also cause stroke. But nevertheless, there are women going in repetitiously giving up their womb, and you don't realize that you're giving up your womb to some other white Caucasian so that she can have a reconstructed womb so she can have a baby. Or some of the elders who need the reconstructed womb. You can go look it up. You don't have to listen to me. It's all written down. They documented it. But nevertheless, why are we a day late and a dollar short on everything? Why can't we have dreams and visions? Where are your dreams and visions? Who has a dream and vision? How do you monopolize on your dreams and visions? Do you let them go and smoke up and smoke? And do you say, well, I'm over 50 now, I'm retired, I don't have any more dreams? You're just beginning to grow. And you should never give up your dreams from the cradle to the grave. Continue to stand on your feet and profess your pulpit and work towards your dream. Because if you don't have anything to leave your children behind, your dreams have not been fulfilled. And you have to have some legacies to leave your children. And if you cannot leave your children any legacy, they will forget about you and you'll be a lost ancestor. You want them to deify you, to remember you. Look at all these good things my mom and dad left for me. I can live off them. Now I can get on my feet. That's what they want. They want to make sure that you never allow your children to get on their feet, because if they take everything away from you, they're coming for your dreams too. And I want you to know that. And there should be a time when you put your good foot down, when you don't allow people to come for your dreams. Let me take roll call. Hello, Junior. Hello, Alonzo. Hello, Deval. Hello, Junior. Did I say Junior? Hello, Benjai. Hello, Hawk. Hello, Ken. Hello, Frederica. Hello, Michael. I'm just going to say Michael. How are you? Thank you so much for joining me. And let me see who is over here in our, for some reason, well, I guess I can't do anything up here. Okay. I want to say that this feature show today is a special one to talk about our dreams and our visions and how we don't let our dreams and vision get away from us. And I spoke rather candidly because I feel like I am not a victim and I will not continue to be victimized. I see on every account they come after your finances, be it through your retirement pension, be it through your Social Security. Now, there's a Social Security meeting coming up on the 27th of this month here in Plainfield, Indiana, and they're going to tell us about all the new Social Security laws. And if you're out there in Indiana and you didn't know about it, please attend. It's going to be at 6 o'clock. And you can go online to look it up because I found it online. And it's through an agency, and they're an investment agencies. They're now telling you about all of the money that the government has been taking from you and how your Social Security has been hijacked, and how some of you who put in applications for disability might not get them. So please do look up that meeting on Facebook and then join if you're in the state of Indiana, in the area. And I'm sure that you might have some meetings going on right there in your location. But it's talking about Social Security. And a lot of people think that Social Security is a freebie. No, you work for that. Those of you who get Social Security retirement, you worked and paid into that. Now, SSI, that is for dependents who have not worked and who did not make enough money and they have no income coming in and they're dependents. So they give them SSI and the state pays for that. A lot of those people getting $800 and $900 never worked a day in their life and they're getting SSI that is equivalent to $800 and $900. Then there are those of us who actually worked all of our life and they calculate our Social Security benefits down to $800 and $900. How is that possible? So something tells me that something is wrong because there's too many people that worked over 30 some years that are only getting $1,000 a month compared to someone who never worked is getting $990 some a month. Now we got to stay on top of these things because more of you are getting up to be a senior. And if you don't start looking at your contributions now for Social Security, then you don't understand that you have a family budget for your family. In the event that you become disabled, your family gets your wife gets a check and your child gets a check. That comes out of your family benefit, okay, for disability. And women who are married and who have actually, their husbands have died and their widow's spouse income, you should be receiving a widow's spouse if you live with that man over 10 years. And some people who have divorced don't realize they're entitled to their husband's Social Security if it's more than theirs. But if yours is less than theirs, they'll give you the difference. And sometimes that might not be anything but $10 different. But nevertheless, it's your $10 and you should know about it. People keep things away from African Americans. They don't expound upon it, and we don't know what's up and coming. And we're the last to know in the community. And that's because we're not readers. You got to become readers to know what's going on. But you're going to be in my circle, right? Well, there's some do's and some don'ts. In this circle, we are not exploiting one another. We are not backbiting one another. And we are not going in and defacing each other because we're not teaching on that frequency anymore. We're teaching from a spiritual frequency. And there are going to be a lot of priests, priestesses, babalaws, apetibi, and inyalafis, a lot of spiritual people around on that website. And if they're worth their salt and their being, if they see this kind of behavior going on, they're going to point it out. And they're elders, and they should. But having a circle means having people you can trust, having people that have the same caliber of integrity that you have, having people that want the same thing you want, that are goal bound and that are set on making goals and working towards goal, not someone that's coming there like a viper to see what they can get from you or steal from you or demolish you, or instead of admonishing you. So we're not going to have nigger mess. I'm telling you that right now. You can leave that wherever you are. We are not frequenting on that vibe because everyone can get wealth. God is no respecter of person. What he's done for me, he will do for you. But you've got to be committed. He said, if his words abide in you and you abide in his words, you can ask him whatever you will. And we don't have because we're not asking for these things. Some people think they have to kill to get it. Some people think they have to lie to get it. Some people think that they have to steal to get it. But you don't have to do any of those things. These are extra royalties that are granted to you from just being available to allow God to use you, to be able to be a mouthpiece for God. And that's all I am, is a mouthpiece up here for God to speak on his behalf. But I will tell you this much. Too many people are getting far too rich and they're not telling other people. Well, let me tell you this. For those women, you are a double minority in the Small Business Association. You're black and you're female. And if you're disabled, you're three minorities, black, females, and disabled. Use that to your benefit. And not only being a minority is important, you can also do business with the government. That's right. Go to your Small Business Association and ask them, how do I get certified to do business with the government? You can be certified to work in your county, in your state, in your city. You can get that certification and you can go and apply for it through your Small Business Association. And those of you who are disabled and want to return back to work, you can get a ticket to work so you can return back to work, and they can help you to set up your businesses. If you're disabled, they are by law held to help you to set up a business. Okay? And you can also apply to do business for the government. What do I mean? The government needs supplies and services. You can bring your business to the government and have guaranteed business once you get your certificate to practice doing business with the government. That is one thing you should aspire to do with your business. That is guaranteed business to come in once you are certified and have a certificate. There are tons of workshops and meetings that are held throughout the Small Business Association. Purdue University is involved in some of those meetings. Now, Sharon Harvey, here in the city of Indianapolis, Indiana, works with the Small Business Association. She also brings in banks that are willing to do business with small businesses. That is, if you want to go that route, I think you should save your own money and use your own money to borrow from for your business. Don't just necessarily run to the bank. Now you got an outstanding deficit with them. Now, but she does work with the Small Business Association to get Black women to come to these breakfasts, sunrise meetings to talk about your business, how to get your EIN number, your entity, whether you're going to be doing business as or a sole proprietor, an LLC entity, a C Corp, an S Corp, a partnership, or trust fund. She can actually, at these meetings, you can actually determine which way to go. And you can also learn about how to register your business with the county and making sure that somewhere along the line, if you are going to go C Corp or S Corp, you become a full-blown corporation. So you actually can buy stocks and bonds from your company as a C Corp. So therefore, there are benefits to be had with the S Corp or C Corp. Let your lawyer lead you on that, or your accountant. But it's very important that every family should look at having a small business in their home, whether it be through multi-level marketing, and they structure themselves with the entity. There are write-offs to be had once you get a business for your space in your home, for the mileage or the repairs of your car, for your cell phone. Okay. And if you have a fleet of cars and you're a C Corp and you want to buy a fleet of cars, you can let your corporation buy those cars and let them lend them to you. There's a lot of benefits to be had in having a corporation. But you have to go to your lawyer. I am not a lawyer, and let your lawyer or accountant to tell you what's the best entity. I will not sit here on this air and make any recommendation about which one is better or the other. But it's important for you to have one. Now, the meetings are free at the Small Business Association, the majority of them. Sometimes they have them at locations where they want you to pay $25 and you get a meal with it. But I followed them for almost, for a whole year until I got my entity, until I got my Dun and Bradstreet number. You're also going to want a Dun and Bradstreet number that tells you how good your business is doing. And that Dun and Bradstreet number will actually rate you and give you a rating just like you do with your credit score. Okay, so people can look that up. Now, people go out and they try to get credit from the bank. I say to get your own personal credit straightened out and have money in the bank that becomes seasoned. So most places are not going to want to lend you any money, most corporations or business or bank, unless they see that you have gotten your credit score together and has a seasonable amount of money in the bank. So don't think that you can once get these corporations or companies, you can go out and apply for all these credit cards. Now you run them up and then now you're up a creek. No, you cannot do that. These businesses, the credit card are meant for the businesses, and you're only supposed to use 20% of that particular money of the credit card. But I'm not here to be your attorney or to be your guide. I'm here to tell you that in this circle, we're looking to have proficient people that can sustain themselves. And down the road, they can think about leaving that 8-to-5 job, and they can work on these main streams of income and live off them and eventually incorporate themselves to become a business. So this circle is not just to come together and chew the fat and talk about what I got and what they don't have, and admonishing ourselves and pushing ourselves up the pedestal. It's not about that. It's about us trying to do for us and us getting to the point where if we're fed up with our school systems, we can look at starting our own home schools and look at having our own private school. But we certainly got to start somewhere. I get tired of people going on the air complaining about what they're doing to us, what they're doing to us. Now look at what they're doing to the black boys. Now look at the black man being shot down. We got to do something more than just talk. We got to be able to align ourselves to have our own judicial system. That's a must. We've definitely got to start looking into the mirror of reestablishing our own judicial system. And what better people to go and connect with than our indigenous Aboriginal people, because they were the ones that were first on this earth, and they first led the way to the judicial system and laying down the formality. We've got to at least have a committee together to talk about what is best practice for us to have a judicial system to govern our own self. The shooting is not going to stop until you present to them a mirror image of an institution that reflects a better institution than the one that they're currently dishing out. And if you put a clean glass up against a dirty one, it will convict itself. You don't have to show it all its inadequacies. It will convict itself. And for those of you who are sick and tired of being sick and tired of looking at how Black African Americans are being incarcerated hand over foot when they're innocent and they're serving all this time, and then after 40 or 50 years, they're being admonished with a $41,000 million check. That doesn't solve the fact that they've missed out on life. We can't keep locking African American people up, all under the assumption they fit the description, and then later on finding that we were terribly wrong in convicting that person. We must set up our own judicial system. And as we set up our own judicial system, we must realize that we are the keepers, the watchmen, and we must govern ourselves and be able to feel that we're competent enough to govern ourselves. But unless we do that, I don't care how much money these basketball players make, they're going to still keep taking that money, giving it right back to other communities, and telling ourselves that we're not worthy of it, and telling us that we can invest in our own people. So we got to get to the point where we separate and segregate. And segregation wasn't a bad idea. It wasn't a bad idea to have your own churches and own bathrooms. I was for that. At least you knew where you stood and you weren't intruding on somebody else's property or somebody else's ground. When you have your own, you tend to work better. Like right in Oklahoma, when all those people moved from Durham, North Carolina to Oklahoma to set up their businesses, and they were proud of their businesses, and their businesses were flourishing. But somebody shot them from up above, and they dropped the bomb on them from up above and destroyed their whole city, all because of jealousy. No, they don't want you to get ahead. And you know that because of what they did to Oakland, Oklahoma. And we know this, and then we have a set of research to prove that nobody wants you to get ahead. So sometimes you have to come out from among them and try to do better for self. But you cannot keep using excuses, they won't let me, and keep crying about the victim. Don't be the victim. I have enough that I could cry about to make me a victim, but I refuse to become a victim or become victimized. And you should too. So you should come to the agreement in your mind that you are going to work towards excellence for your people and look at how you can leave a legacy for your children. How many of you out there want to leave a legacy for your children? If you would like to say something, hello there, Michael, Frederick, Ken, Hawkins, Rashai, Junior, Alonzo, Zolis. How many of you would like to leave a legacy for your children? What are the things you think you can leave behind? One other thing I want to talk to you about is agriculturepreneur. This is a new line of agriculture where they're farming over in Africa with pigs. They're reproducing piglets, and they're actually selling them to the various different restaurants who are producing pork, because they have a shortage in protein over in South Africa, that there's a big need for the rearing of pigs. Now, you do have to, of course, feed these pigs, and you have to make sure they're giving their antibiotics and they're treated so they don't get sick. So you're going to have a little bit of land to grow the feeding of the food that you have, the mace that you have to feed the pigs. I just went to a conference on people that was interested in becoming a farmer who would like to raise vegetables and fruit or raise the pigs. It's a big market that you can go online and look up and find out information on how to go into the business of agripreneur. And agripreneur will allow you to even be mentored by some of the Africans in Africa and Uganda, where there's a big need for raising pigs and raising hogs. And the one lady said she started off with an actual two pigs, a female and a male, and she began to grow these little piglets, and then she gave the piglets away to her students, and those piglets can grow on and reproduce so that you can grow your business. Now, I don't know how many of you are farmers, but it's out there and it's available. But we have to look into every aspect of how we can go into Africa and claim our land and claim our businesses and what we can do there in Africa to run a business, because that is also an option for us too. Now, you've been grand to talk to, and I hope I've got my message to you. You can go on to my website, and that website is http Montu Muntu Enterprise Enterprises.biz. That is the newest website that just opened up where you can get membership, and there's also free sites. Now, I want you to understand that you can download some of our previous shows. Then our store has not opened yet, but our store has all of the African tools that you'll need. If any of you are priestesses in Yala days, or Apeti Bees, or Baba Laws, you'll be able to go to that store to buy your paraphernalias that you need for your practitioner's work. We also have, what do we have on that website? We also have my prior shows that I've done. You can go and listen to where I've had shows and what I've been doing in the music industry. And we do talk about songwriting on that website, because it's sort of like my musical background store, but I've incorporated the actual membership to the store in there. So you can get a basic membership, you can get VIP or VIP plus membership. So go and check it out. Then we also have our family resource website, and that is http // under Lilly Institute, LILLYINSTITUTE, for exceptional education, Weebly, WEEBLY.com. That site has a wealth of information about grants, about teaching your baby to read. It's an educational family website. So go and check that out. And you can join that website for free. There's no membership on that. And I decided to add that membership because I said, what is $2 a year? It will help with the administrative fees so we can have a kitty to be able to furnish new things. And at the same time, I think you do better when you invest yourself and not when someone just gives you everything. Now, I'm not an empire, but I do aspire for excellence. And I do like the fact that my radio station has been out there for 10 years. I would love for each and every one of you to go out and sign up under Blog Talk. I want to see if it's worth it to keep the Blog Talk radio station or to venture out and start my own so I can monetize myself. I want to thank each and every one of you for joining me this morning. I know you had many places that you could have been, but you chose to be with me today. And those friends of mine on Facebook, thank you for coming back and supporting me. I lost a lot of my followers through being thrown under the bus, so to speak, and I had to start my channel again. So a lot of you are brand new who I don't know, but I am Omiyinka7, Lady Jaguar Throne, and I'm glad that you're coming to support me. And I want to say to each and every one of you, have a fantastic day and look towards coming to join my circle and being a part of Omiyinka7 Zannu's circle. This way we can build our network and we can build our net worth at the same time. I want to say Baba Booey to each and every one of you, and I want to tell you that We are to be straight ahead and into the future. Milwaukee, Wisconsin, straight ahead and into the future. Garland, Texas, straight ahead and into the future. Gary, Indiana, straight ahead and into the future. Indianapolis, Indiana, straight ahead and into the future. Detroit, Michigan, straight ahead and into the future. Avon, Indiana. Thank you so very much. And you've been listening to Maddie Harvey's baby sister. Oh, double. Baba boy to you, y'all. Baba boy to you, y'all.